Say alright, 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 alright. My passion is ignited. Alright, alright, alright. Are we gonna win? Are we gonna learn? Are we gonna grow? Learning is the word. Are we gonna win? Are we gonna learn? Are we gonna grow? Learning is the word. I got a passion. I love to learn. I have some dreams, but here is my word. You are the future, but you gotta emerge. So follow me, do what is right, and you'll never get lost through your words. Say alright, 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 alright. My passion is ignited. Alright, alright. Are we gonna win? Are we gonna learn? Are we gonna grow? Learning is the word. Are we gonna win? Are we gonna learn? Are we gonna grow? Learning is the word. I got a passion. I love to learn. I have some dreams, but here is my word. You are the future, but you gotta emerge. So follow me, do what is right, and you'll never get lost through your words. Say alright. Is ignited. Alright, 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 yeah. Say alright, 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 alright. My passion is ignited. Alright, alright, alright.
Well, all right. Well, welcome to the Great African American Read-In, day number 27. I'm so grateful to be here on this afternoon with one of our favorite authors, Miss Sharika Carpenter Stanley. I'm so grateful for her to be on tonight, and I'm so happy because she is really truly one of my favorite authors for the Great African American Read-In. And also, Mr. Denby, how are you doing tonight?
I am awesome. Like the song says, my passion is ignited.
Oh, you got excited. All right. Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, Author Sharika. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to you right now.
Good evening. I was going to say good afternoon. It's evening now. Miss Gloria, you have me smiling, saying that. I really appreciate that. I cannot believe, y'all, it's been a whole year. It's been a year since we've seen each other, and I am so tickled to be back. When I saw it, the message in my inbox, I was like, yes, I'm jumping on the calendar.
Yeah.
We had so much fun last year. I love you guys. I love talking with you beforehand. Look, even through our technical difficulties, Lord, we're going to pray this thing goes all right. But it's always good to see you and Mr. Denby. I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all having me again for the Great African American Author Read-In. So I love being here. Like Miss Gloria said, I only had one book, y'all, and it was I Fit In Just Right. Y'all remember that? But now a whole year, things have changed. I have a bookstore now, in a restaurant here in Greensboro. It's called Next Chapter Bookstore, in Ben's Boys Restaurant in Friendly Center. The Friendly Center shops here in Greensboro, so I'm running that. So not only do I have another book, I got a whole bookstore, y'all, with people in there that all black everything, candles and jewelry and books and all that good stuff. So a lot has happened in 365 days. So I'm super excited. So now this time I get to read you guys my newest book, and it is ones that I took. Hello. Okay, I see you now, Miss Gloria. Yes, yes.
Yeah, we was having a
We're
little
back.
bit of difficulty, but
Yes,
we're back.
look, we gonna go on through this thing
That's
though.
right.
But I think y'all were the first ones that I told that I had just written this
Oh,
book after the inauguration last year. And it's my poetic tribute to Madam Vice President. It's called Through Our Eyes, an Inauguration Day celebration. And it was inspired from that day. I know we have a lot going on, y'all, right now as a country and as the world internationally. But just for a few minutes, I'm going to take us back to this day when we had nothing but joy, and we were hope filled. So I'm gonna take us back to that day when we had on our chucks and our pearls and all that good stuff, and we were very, very hopeful. Our prayers go out to our leaders who are having to make tough decisions and all these things with what's going on in the world today. But today, for a few minutes, we're gonna kind of go back to January 20th, 2021, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And this is my new book, Through Our Eyes. And I have to read the dedication because the dedication is super important to me. It says, this book is dedicated to every little girl whose name has been mispronounced, who did not feel seen, heard, or felt unsure of yourself. You are wonderfully you, and you are enough. Keep dreaming. And that's from me, Sharika. A poetic tribute to Madam Vice President Through Our Eyes, an Inauguration Day celebration. We watched all day. We watched with our mommies and aunties and gammies, all of us. We watched in our chucks and pearls and t-shirts and colors and outfits laid out the night before, representing in every way, posing with every snap. We watched in tutus and hair bows and with purses on our shoulders and high heels 3 times too big and with hats on, 2 to be exact, because 1 was just not enough. No, we wanted to be fancy for this day. We watched with hope in our eyes and our mouths filled with curiosity as wow words came across the screen. Words we had never heard, now added to our ever-expanding vocabulary for later use. We watched with our fathers and our brothers and uncles who voted for the very first time. We told them it was okay to get into some good trouble. But now they really know, like we do, that every vote matters. Only silent voices go unheard. We stopped and watched from classrooms with fellow classmates and in workspaces with coworkers behind masks, not wanting to miss a minute, even if it was just the background soundtrack for our day. We took pictures and videos in front of TVs and in foyers with smiles bigger than the camera could even capture. Masks came off for these because smiles don't lie. We needed to see more than just our hope-filled eyes. We asked the tough questions and learned the sometimes complex lessons of government and democracy. Still a little unsure of some of what we took in, but seeds were planted for later watering nonetheless. We watched the pomp and circumstance of centuries of tradition on display as you climbed stairs and walked into halls that now have to include women in the sequel. We watched as former first ladies walked onto the dais We clearing the red carpeted walkway of the shattered glass that remained from the ceiling you had burst wide open. Some of them had cracked it just a little for you to break it open. Y'all remember when Michelle Obama broke the internet with this outfit? She broke the internet, Shelly. Shelly broke the internet. We watched as former presidents came together having a partisan divide, but a unified humanity, still showing us how to lead, but now as citizens of our imperfect union. We loved hearing the national anthem from the lady and hearing this land sprinkled with a little bit of Spanish refrain. That rendition of Amazing Grace turned that moment into a worldwide sing-along of poetic prayer. We watched with magical pride, hearing the expressions and seeing the hand gestures of a bursting supernova in the form of a young poet laureate who adorned a red crown, a coat the color of sunshine, and a caged bird ring from our own Auntie O. And she delighted us with all of her verses, sometimes Hamiltonian in flavor, reminding us there is always light. We witnessed history connect itself when you, the first Black South Asian woman to be elected vice president, placed your left hand on the Bible of the first Black Supreme Court justice. As the first Latina Supreme Court justice swore you in, while the first Black president who appointed her watched, all in one frameable moment of firsts. We cried tears when you exclaimed, "So help me God," because we knew this was, as you say, American aspiration at its best, knowing you are the first, but definitely not the last. And we inhaled the collective sigh of relief that our parents exhaled out. We watched them smile with beams of pride, giving us permission to adorn our own. We knew in that moment we could do anything. We watched you stand on shoulders that were anchored by our ancestors' wildest dreams. Now we get to stand on yours as we peer into the future, writing our own her story, proclaiming like our t-shirts and all of our hashtags say, "My VP looks like me." The ancestors looked down at you and smiled that day. The ancestors looked up at you and smiled that day. And you received the look from the ones passing the baton. They looked at you and smiled that day. And you knew what had to be done, what needed to be done. And you went to work that day and we watched. Now we are watching, Madam Vice President. And that's the end. I did want to show one more thing because the young lady, I have reference pages in here for all of the historical figures that are in here, but I did definitely want to share this picture right here. Hopefully you all can see it. This was a picture that night that as I was scrolling through Instagram, this young lady, she was on her mom's Instagram page and she had dressed up in her hat and fancy pocketbook and all that. And her name is Cam Manuel. And as soon as I saw that picture, the words started to flow that night. So I asked her mom, I said, "Can I please put her in the book?" Because she was the inspiration. And I'll go back to that page. This is a bigger picture of it. She was the inspiration for this picture right here.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so as soon as I saw that, I had to include her because I thought that was really special because we all dressed up that day. We were all excited. We were all just excited to see history being made. I know we as a family, we sat around, we watched everything that day. So I wanted to capture that in a book forever.
Yeah,
So there you go.
those pictures are banging. Like, I mean, the poem, the pictures, the whole thing is like breathtaking almost. I'm telling you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Mr. Dim. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. I was just getting ready to type on here on the comments, but I can say it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just a beautiful tribute in how we can, to preserve our history. And
Yes.
and I know that I was just having a conversation with Latoya Wilson. I know her from Bethune-Cookman, and I also sing with her on our praise team. And so
Yes,
one of the
ma'am.
things she was talking about is that the push for, history, Black history and other history to be moved out of the school systems. And she was just like, how unfortunate is this? And so just this, I think this is a beautiful rendition of you just displaying who you are always, your creativity and your mastermind of just innovation to preserve our history. So I just want to say thank you so much. It's beautiful. And from the illustration to the poem, everything, you did it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you are so right. You are so right when you say trying to push it out, because think about it. We're just now getting it in. We're just now really getting our history in the books. We had a little when I was growing up, it was a paragraph about slavery and that was about it. But luckily I was blessed enough to go to all Black schools. So my teachers instilled that in us, and my family was big on that too. They were big on history, and I do the same thing with my kids. I'll pull them in a heartbeat and watch a documentary or talk to them about whatever our history is, because if we don't pass it down, especially we're used to an oral history. That's how we were. That's how we grew up. We're used to an oral history, so we've gotta preserve it in those kinds of ways. We have to, because otherwise the next generation will not know. They won't. And so we're just getting it back in, and now they're trying to pull it back out. And so whatever way we can get it in there, I'm gonna try. Trust me, I'm gonna try to do my part to get it on in there.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Like, I like what you said. You teach your children their history. And a lot of Black folks have moved from doing that, and they expect that they just want to pass. And not just Black folks, but everybody is passing stuff on to the schools to do. And it's time for families and parents. You have to take that control back. You have to teach your kids who they are and where they come from. When I mentioned that children, all people of color came from Africa, my children shouldn't be, I didn't come from no, that's because somebody not teaching y'all, These parents are not, and that's what we have as parents and communities. We have to take that power back and not leave it to the schools. And that's the importance about your book.
Right.
Like, because that book, even if they take it out of the schools, that book can be shared anywhere. We can go to church and read it. We can go to the mall and have a reading. We can have a reading. If you say you're in the shop, you got a restaurant. We could have a reading at your restaurant. It is many ways.
Yeah, that's what we just started, Mr. Denby. We just started a book club. We just started. It's gonna be in March. Yeah, started a book club, and it's for the whole family. We have 6 different groups from kindergarten all the way to adult, and everybody's reading a book every month. And you don't have to read every month. You don't have to be there every month, but we want you to come at least 3 months and kind of hang out with us a little bit. Right now, we're gonna do it virtually, but eventually we'll have it in the store. But I gotta go back to something that you said. You said it starts at the home. When a teacher receives an email, whether that's a dance teacher or a soccer coach or a teacher of my children, my signature at the bottom says, "Thank you for partnering with me in the education of my children." It is not their responsibility first to educate my child. It's not. I'm thanking them for partnering with me. I appreciate the part that you're going to play, but I know what I'm going to do first, always. I know what I'm going to do first, always. So yeah, so you are right. That is not anybody else's responsibility other than me and my husband's responsibility and my family. Like you said, community. That's a
Yeah.
community responsibility. It's their grandparents' responsibility to tell them about their parents and me
Yeah.
to tell them about, you know, all of that. We need to know our history so that we
But
understand who we are.
yeah, and not only that, I know this been the hot topic for a few days now, but it's the parents'
Yeah,
job to help children cipher through everything that they see. You know, all the stuff they see on TV, and then they want to, you know, and I know people don't want to talk about LGBTQI or all of those, you know, they don't want to talk about it, but it's your job as parents to help children decipher through that stuff. You
that's
know,
right.
you
That's
have to
right.
your
That's what
children
I'm
the
there
way,
for. I'm there to help
yeah,
you navigate.
yeah.
Yep. Help you
And that
navigate all of that.
a lot of parents don't want to have those hard conversations, those uncomfortable. You know, if your children watch Beyonce and she got on her half naked stuff, they gonna come asking you questions, and you gotta be able to answer them. You know, that's your job.
That's right. Right. That's right. And give them, and like my husband gives one of the best analogies. He talks about, you know, when you go to the bowling alley and they have those the guides that you can pull up for the beginning bowlers
Oh
and keep
yeah,
that ball in the lane. And he talks about that. That's who we are. You know, we got to keep that ball in the lane.
right.
And then one day we'll be able to put them down. We'll be able to put them down one day and then they can bowl on their own and figure that out. But for right now, we're to be those guideposts for our children. And not at 18. I mean, it don't stop at 18. It ain't the magic number ain't 18 or when they graduate from high school. It's as long as they need it,
Right.
as
Yeah.
long as they need us to help them navigate, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm with you on that.
That's why, you know, I was telling Gloria yesterday. I know this is gonna be, this is the same thing, but I must change a little bit. I was telling Gloria because she was talking about presenting a network idea to the television.
He talks so much.
I was just saying, but she want to do like I ain't the ideal. I ain't gonna tell the ideal on live national.
Look at Miss Gloria, like you
She got
know,
she had an idea about having a network. I just say that, and I say, well, you know, I could see Miss Sharika. She could have like a show called Auntie Sharika, and she could go on there. I feel like people would listen to you. You know, you could be teaching and just talking about the stuff we talking about right now. Children would listen to you. I could see teenagers listen. Parents would be watching. Like, let me find out what Auntie Sharika talking about today.
Look, from your mouth to God's ears, we look. I ain't turning down no blessings. I ain't turning down what blessing. If you call me and say you got the network for Auntie Sharika, we coming. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about me. We coming.
That's what we gonna just speak that into the atmosphere. I'm not gonna hold it in. And wherever it goes.
Yeah. Look, Miss Gloria already like he done told too much.
Oh, Lord,
That is hilarious.
We do this author reading. We building our television network.
Okay, come on with it. But Miss Gloria is not. She wants you to be quiet.
I'm
like, look, that was my idea. That's called intellectual property. Tell them, Miss Gloria, it's called intellectual property.
I'm a hush.
It's my idea. That's intellectual property. Oh my gracious.
I mentioned to her about I'm when I got on, I said, Miss Sharika, when you get off, I would like to talk to you about something.
Yes.
I done brought it up on live national TV.
On live.
Facebook.
He going live with it.
Lord help us.
everything though. That's good because normally I would have told it all, but I didn't tell it.
See, normally
I just,
didn't told it all. That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
but you have a type
Oh
of
my goodness.
wisdom that people need to hear,
I
and it's
appreciate
just that type of wisdom that you teach your family. Families need to hear that. New mothers need to hear that you are the ones that need to teach your children.
That's right.
Not don't allow because they letting TV teach them, and then they letting the teachers teach them. But then when the kids come home and ask them questions about what the teacher said, that's when they get mad and they don't know how to answer it because you're not teaching your kids. Stop
right.
letting other people teach them.
That's
And
right.
so I'm gonna get off of that, but
It's totally okay. It's
Miss
totally
Gloria, like, okay, get on off of that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, no, go ahead, Carl.
no, I was gonna say, Miss Sharika, can you tell us all of the news, the stuff that's going on? You ran fast, but you was like, oh, I got a restaurant, I got this, that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you ran so fast through it, we couldn't hear. Just give it
I
to
got
us
you.
slow.
Yeah, I got you. You say slow walking, girl. You get excited, slow walk that thing. I get excited.
Because I was like, oh, I was trying to keep up. She's
Like, oh, shoot, okay. I got you. Look, I'm gonna slow it on down for you.
There
But
we
no, yes. I'll tell you what happened. We have a local restaurant, again, Black-owned restaurant here in Greensboro, North Carolina, and it is called Ben's Boys. Shout out to the Wyatt family. As a matter of fact, they are at the CIAA this week with their lemonade. So I'm sure there's somebody on here that has had some Ben's Boys, Mama Ella's lemonade this week from the CIAA. But they had a section in their restaurant. Let me kind of explain a little bit about Friendly Center here in Greensboro. It is pretty much, it's white, it has all of your anchor stores like Macy's, Belk, Barnes and Noble, Five Below, all those kinds of stores are in this big area, on the restaurant in that area. And so they opened up their restaurant and they were looking for people in the community, artists and authors and all that kind of thing. And so I was one of the first ones to get my book in there, and you couldn't tell me nothing because I was tickled that my book was up on a shelf in a restaurant, in a Black-owned restaurant. And it was about maybe 7 or 8 of us. And then me and the owner, Joe Wyatt, kind of just forged a relationship. And I kind of told him my dream of having a bookstore, owning my own bookstore someday, which is a 10+ year dream. And so he was like, well, Sharika, I'm over here running a restaurant. What do you think about you doing that area over there? And I was like, are you sure you really want me to do it? I'm like, because I'll duty it up now. And he was like, yeah. He said, because I don't really have the time. I want to focus on the restaurant. If that's your dream, go ahead and you focus on that piece of it. And so we put out information and said, we're looking for creatives, and y'all, the people started coming. And so we started out with 38 people in the restaurant. Now I'm gonna tell you this too, when people walk in, they are amazed. I mean, I've had people cry. I've had people just stop and say, I'm overwhelmed. I've had children run in and run around the table because they've never seen just a table full of Black books that look like them. We've had people tell us like, y'all the Black Cracker Barrel. We've had people tell us that it's like busboys and poets. It is a blessing. There's not a day that goes by that someone does not come into that space and just say, thank you. Thank you, because they are blown away at the atmosphere of the restaurant. It's just the atmosphere, and their slogan is love, comfort, food. And it really is what you feel when you come into there. So if you all are ever in Greensboro, North Carolina, y'all have to come and see me, Miss Gloria and Mr. Denby. Y'all gotta come and y'all gotta come eat. Come get you some cornbread, because that's actually the name of our book club, Cornbread in a Book.
Wow.
That's the name of our book club. Yes. And that was named for one of the customers came in, and she and I were talking one day, and she was like, girl, it ain't nothing like cornbread in a book. And I looked at her, I said, ooh, I like that. And so me and the book committee, I asked them, I said, what do y'all think about us naming it Cornbread in the Book? So that's the name of the book club, but the name of the bookstore is called Next Chapter Bookstore and Gift Shop. And if you go on Facebook, you'll see us on there. We're on Instagram. The restaurant is called Ben's Voice. And so they also have a page on Facebook and Instagram as well, because that way they can focus on the food and all of that, and get you your good fish on Fridays, and your meatloaf and your cornbread and your green beans and all that. And we can focus on spotlighting the community, because now like I said, we started out with 38 people. We are now up to 78 people who have jewelry. We have local college students that have their stuff in there. We have teenagers with we have greeting cards, we have books, jewelry, candles, sweatshirts from the local colleges around there, greeting cards. We had wrapping paper. We had Valentine's Day cards with Black kids on them and Black women on them and all that good stuff. So it's really, really a gem of a place. And I am super proud. I tell people I'm kind of like the curator of a museum, because Ben's Boys owns that. That's theirs. But they have trusted me enough to say, Sharika, you take over that and turn it into whatever. And I am forever grateful to Mr. Will and Joe Wyatt, that the whole Wyatt family. They are amazing. The tribe is what they call them. All the workers there are amazing. I mean, I love it. Every day it is my place of peace. Every time that I go, I learn something new. People tell their stories and all that. So it's a sweet place, y'all. Y'all got to come and eat and come shop. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll actually down there next week. So I'm going to Greenville. I don't know how far that is from Greensboro.
Now, Greenville is about 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah, because Greenville, you're talking about like ECU, all that area.
Well, it's just a drive. I drove 6 hours to go to Sweet.
Yeah, Greenville is about 3 hours from us.
I could drive 3 hours to eat.
Well, hey, come on now. You come on. If you come, look, come on. And then you'll be able to tell Miss Gloria, you'll be able to tell her, girl, you got to come and see this place. Yeah. Yeah, but y'all follow us on, what I'll do is I'll send y'all the invite to follow the store on Instagram and Facebook, you know.
Okay.
Because it's, like I said, it's a special place. It really is. We enjoy it. I love it. So yeah, I'm a blessed woman. I really am.
That's another thing I was gonna say. Gloria, I'm starting to act like you, child. I'm starting to be all emotional and stuff. She living her dream. That was your dream, to open a bookstore, and now it just came falling in you know, that's
no.
That's
what I'm telling you. Now, when you said that right there, Mr. Denby, that's the thing about it. Once I jumped and started leaping into being an author, things just started happening so fast. And it's almost like God was like, girl, I've been waiting on you. What you do? Yeah. I had all this for you. I had all of it for you.
About that. Oh my God. We were just about that yesterday, because I was telling Gloria, I said, well, you know, at some point, I'm probably gonna have to give up teaching, which is my safety, that teaching, I know I'm gonna get that teacher check. It ain't the best paycheck, but then I was like, no, point.
Yeah. And we actually had a moment that day, and I was talking to Kyra, and I was saying to him that's something that's been in the back of my mind as well. Like, I'm driving to work and that's what's coming in, and I'm like, oh my God, But when he said that, I was like, I'm gonna tell you something, And I haven't mentioned it to anybody. Said that to him. And the next thing I said to you, Kyra, you remember I told you, I said, Wayne Dyer, this is a true story. Wayne Dyer said that he was getting ready to become tenured. And Wayne Dyer, he's like one of the people like Louise Hay, who's very inspirational, motivational, and he's like Mecca. Like this man had gotten so much money and revenues coming about that he went several times, like he would go to the bank and get like hundreds of thousands of dollars, like $200,000, $300,000, and just start passing out money to people on the street.
Wow.
This man was just that wealthy. He did that. And just to hear his story is amazing.
Wow.
So I was mentioning to Kyra that he said, and I heard him say this, and I was like, what? He said it came to a point where he was a college professor. It was between him being tenured at the college or living out his dream. And what he had to do was he had to have the conversation to say, I am going to go ahead and live out I thank you very much. This would be great because so many people work to become tenured. However, I need to go ahead and do my purpose and what I'm called to do. And he came to Hollywood, Florida and came to Hollywood, Florida and wrote his first book. Okay. Now, the next day, I go and meet Toya because I'm doing something at my college. I'm an administrator and I'm doing this diversity expo, which they've never had that before. So I'm having an inclusion of the arts and different things of that nature. The first person that I walked into after signing in was this lady, and her name was Lucy Dyer. So when I saw Dyer, I said, that's automatically, I thought of Wayne Dyer. So I just said, okay. So eventually I said to her, hello, my name is Gloria Kitchen. And she says, oh, my name is Lucy. And I said, okay, how you doing? Instead of you kind of say, you always say miss, but I said, how you doing, Lucy? We wrap back around again and, come back together again. And I said, she said, of course, what do you do? So I'm telling her what I do and everything. And I say to her, what do you do? She explains to me she's with this, that, and the other. I said, okay. And I said, you know what? When I saw your name, the first thing I saw was Dyer. And I automatically thought about Wayne Dyer. She says, that, that is my father-in-law.
Wow.
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 And I called Kyra, it may be a day later, and said, baby, I think something's up. Something is up, a clear indication from the universe. Baby. He's talking. So, and I think that's something that I know we're gonna have to do it. And I think that's something that I'm that's the thing that I think that I have been really
It's a tough decision to make. It is. It's a tough decision because even for me, when I decided to leave teaching, it was during the pandemic. It was 2020. It's kind of like Mr. Demby said, it's just your security net. It's, who does that? Who leaves a secure job, during a pandemic? And for me to have to go in and tell, my supervisor or whatever at the time and say, what, I think this is it. And when I left, I had the most peace that I had ever had in my life. And so it was like, I know I did the right thing. And after that, God would just show me it time and time again, all the time. He's like, girl, I got you. It'll be days where I doubt that decision, and instantly, y'all, it'll be like an hour later and he'll show me like, I got you. He'll do something where it's like, I got you. And so it's a hard decision. It is. But you think about how many people have ideas and dreams that just become deferred and sit on a shelf. I think about myself. When I wrote I Fit In Just Right in 2011. I just now published that book in 2020. So, you think about things like that and how it's set on a shelf and how we've got all these dreams and sometimes fear and, finances, all kinds of things come into play. all the good, but oftentimes when we put it in the atmosphere and we take that jump and we take that leap and we land and we dance, which is what I've been saying I've been doing. I said I took that jump, I landed, and I'm dancing. Oftentimes what happens is the Lord, like you said, the universe conspires to go right along with you. It's like, yeah, here she comes. We've been waiting on this. We've been waiting on this, and things just start falling into place, and they weave into place in such a way that the intricate details of how God does that thing, he has you on his mind all the time, because he just does it in a way that it's him. I'm like, I know I ain't done this. I know I ain't. Today. I know. I mean, because here, think about this, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Me getting into the bookstore was me looking out for another person. The bookstore came about, me even getting my book in there was me looking out for one of my girlfriends who's a local artist, because what they originally put on their Instagram page was looking for local artists because they wanted to put their artwork. So I went and I put my girl's name up there, and they told me to inbox them, and I said, well, no, I write books, I don't do art, I can't paint. I can't paint. And it's like, no, we're looking for authors too. And so sure enough, I put my name out there, and here I am with my book on the shelf. And now I run that same area where that one little shelf with 7 little books on it now has books and jewelry and candles and all kinds of stuff in it now, So yeah, he knits that thing together so beautifully. I mean, he does.
That's amazing.
Like I said, I'm a blessed woman, y'all.
I thank you for sharing that with us. But I also want to share with you. I Fit In Just Right.
Yes.
That book has been a blessing in my classroom. Anytime my boys get in trouble, I don't make them write anymore. I used to make them write affirmations. I say, sit this book. And they start reading, and then they read it. So, because they don't feel like they have a place, especially our Black boys. And when they read that book, I Fit In Just Right. So a lot of times when they acting out, they just trying to fit in somewhere. And that book has, I'm telling you, like, they start reading, and they wait a minute. Oh. And I said, well, tell me what you thought about it. It said, I fit in, I could fit in, and I'm like, So I want to share that with you, that's what I do with your book. I just keep it in there. Whenever them boys be acting up, I say, you can't go back to class. You gonna stay in here with me. And they think they in trouble. They think they finna write. And I say, just read that book and then come back to me. And so they are learning to fit in the right.
You just bless my whole soul. Thank you. So, I would love to say that. I appreciate that. I do. Yeah, well, look, hey, put it out in the atmosphere. I will accept book orders. They can email me and I will get them as many copies as they need. As many copies as they need. I appreciate that. I do. That blesses soul. That does. That blesses my soul. I love seeing y'all. We gotta get together more than once a year.
We will. We're gonna have the network. So
when we start Auntie Sharika.
Okay. Like my nieces and nephews call me Aunt Rika. That's all they do.
Here we go.
That's true.
Right.
Well, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I am.
And you just have a really great personality, and it's just easy to talk with you, and it's easy to just, it wasn't anything forced. So I think that's the relationship. I think that we just have. It's a natural flow. And you know, when I say stuff like that, other people are, oh, you don't have no natural flow with me.
yeah,
It's not, you know, so I even, you know, I say stuff and then I come back and say something else because, you know, some people can really go there and you'll be like, really? Like,
Everybody can't be Auntie Rika.
right.
So
You know, well, you know, but it's just it's natural. It's not any, it's a mess anyway. You know, it's just a natural flow. So I just appreciate it. I just really appreciate that. And it's very welcoming. You know, it's
Thank
very
you. I appreciate that, Gloria. You guys are the same way. You are so right. It is a natural flow, and oftentimes you do get that with people, and it's a blessing. It is. And then the hours become the minutes become hours, and you look up like we've been talking for all that long time.
right. You know, right. So it's just really good. It's just always good to have you. It's just a really good, like a really good feeling that we get. So, you know, definitely bring you back on again in the summertime, most likely.
Right. I was tickled when I saw you guys with the message. I was like, yes, I'm definitely signing up. You know, I was going to jump on that calendar, make my way on there some kind of way.
Thank God.
Yes. And there's another thing, you know, Mr. Denby, he was mentioning something to me about doing something like what did she say? Doing a HBCU.
The HBCU read-in.
HBCU read-in.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be super cool. I don't know if you all know this, but it's Black Children's Book Week. Did you guys know that?
Oh, no, we didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Black Children's Book Week. Yeah, it's something that a young lady started, and her name right now, Lord, forgive me. Oh Lord, I can't think of her name. I think her last name is Chapman, but she started.
Write that down, Kyra.
It's called Black Children's Week, Black Children's Book Week, and it's from today until March, the end of this next Sunday, I think. But all this week, they just want anybody that has a Black children's book or wants to showcase it or do something, have authors on. If you want to do an HBCU, you know, anything like that. If you have a child that has a talent. All of that. They are on Facebook as well as Instagram. So, yeah.
I did not know that.
Look that up. Yeah, it's something new. It's the inaugural year of it, and she wants it to be something that she does every single year at the end of Black History Month and take it right on into March.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of
February.
Y'all see it. 27th through March 5th. Yeah. Yeah. So anything you do this week, you know, kind of just tag them on in it, because that's what they wanted to get some traction so that it's international, so that we are celebrating our Black babies through their books and all that good stuff. So
thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Absolutely.
Tell the people where they can get your book. I know you have a website. I posted it. I already posted it on Facebook.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It is just my name. Thank you, Mr. Denby. Thank you. It's just my name is www.sherrikacarpenterstanley.com. SHERRICKA carpenterstanley.com. But yes, they can get it on my website. If they are in the Greensboro area, they can come see us at Next Chapter in Ben's Boys and Friendly Center. It is on the regular, you know, your Amazons and Walmart.com and Target.com, but I like to shout out my independent stores like Shelves Bookstore in Charlotte, Urban Reader, and all those kinds of places. I like to shout out our independent, and of course, like I said, Next Chapter stuff. Give our independent people some love.
Right.
Yeah. So my preference is for them to purchase it definitely from my website for the people that are not in the North Carolina area. So
right.
I appreciate y'all always. I truly, truly do.
Yeah.
It's always a good time. It is.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and read your comments that you do have on here. Let's see. Let me go here.
Oh, there's some comments on there. Look, I didn't even know all that.
No, definitely, Carla Francis says, good evening. And author Linda Brown, that's Kyra's mother, she went ahead and she, throughout the live stream, she said exactly to some 28 minutes in. I don't know specifically.
When we was
Yeah, we'll say we don't even know what that was.
they children, I'm sure that's what because she made sure
Yeah.
she mama didn't play that.
That's right. I know that's right.
And so author Lewis Roberts said, I have so much more to do outside of my classroom. This was a real conversation. I feel more inspired to dream chase.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, go after it. Go after it. And even if it doesn't work, it's okay. You can say you tried it. There's no regrets right now. Life is too short.
Yeah.
But you know one thing, Sharika, what I do believe is it's going to work. But
It is.
It really is, and I think it's like you said, it's the fear of us because especially we've gone to school and we've done all this stuff, and we focused ourselves to accomplish that. So if we can focus ourselves to accomplish that, I think that we can also accomplish, other things as well. So it's just the whole thing. I guess it's the business mindset, and then it's also the entrepreneur mindset, and it's just placing yourself in focus. Because sometimes you see people you're like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. And someone said something to me, yes, ma'am, and she said, if it has been done, it can be done.
That's right. That's right.
One of the things that I did look at for myself with Children's Island, the thing that was I was like, I'm too old to start something like that. And maybe that's what I was thinking when a lot of the stuff was coming together for me about establishing it. And I remember I read something from Sesame Street. The lady who started Sesame Street, she was 40.
Oh, wow. Right.
40. And Louise.
And look at it now. Look at the longevity of that. They just celebrated 50 years of Sesame.
And she's still living. And she's still living.
God.
She's still living. And Louise Hay, she started her career at 50. She wrote that first book, if I'm not mistaken, at 50.
See?
She started her career at 50, such as the lady who played Florence. So to me, I think that was inspiration to me, and tonight, as I say it aloud, I said that I've said it internally. I feel like it's inspiration. It's motivation and inspiration to me. So please know that what you said on tonight really means a lot. And, Missy Denby, I'd be like, what? But I love you and I know that you mean it well.
Yeah, I mean, it's inspiration for me because I think about it. When I was in 2020, I was 46 years old. I'll be 48 this year. So, I mean, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Doesn't matter the age. We don't even have to get stuck in how old we are or any of that. We can do it. We can. And we help each other.
In this together.
That's right. That's right.
Build our network.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you do. Y'all are the bomb. I love y'all. I do.
Thank you again for being with us. We just enjoy every time. We probably do need
every
to do
time, every single time.
Right.
Yeah, y'all get a mid one in there, like Juneteenth or something.
Right. Right.
Look, we got Black History Month and Juneteenth. Don't get that Juneteenth one in there.
That
Juneteenth read aloud.
Isn't that a national holiday?
I might have another book by then. Go get that Juneteenth in there.
Is that a celebration? That's a national. Is that a holiday now?
I think they did. Yeah. Yes. It is now celebrated. I think it's on Father's Day this year, but I think the holiday itself is going to be that Monday. Everybody's going to, use that Monday. So, yeah.
It is.
You might as well go and get that Juneteenth week in there or something. Get you something. That's the halfway part.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So this has been beautiful. Thank you, everyone who has
Always.
joined us on tonight,
Yes, thank you,
and those who
everyone.
will go ahead and watch the replay as well. And thank you for joining us for all 27 days. And tomorrow we will be having our last day of the Great African American Read-In, but you'll definitely hear more from us for sure. So have a wonderful night, everyone. We are Children's Island, where learning is a breeze. Good
Wait,
night.
Lord, wait.
Good
I
night.
do want to say to all our authors, Miss Stanley mentioned Black Book Week. Go ahead and do your own live and read your book and tag that in there. Black Book Week. Black Children's Book. Don't wait for us to do your live. We got
Yes.
28 people on here, so everybody can go live at some point this week and read their book and tag Black Children's Book Week, because you're gonna want people purchasing your book. You're gonna need something bigger to attach your books to, and so if this keeps growing, you can say, "Oh well, I was in the ground up. So I just want to say that I'm sorry.
Yeah. I love it, Mr. Dim. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Your own. Everybody have that live feature on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I think Twitter done started getting a live feature where you can go live. So
wow,
everybody do that on your own and start just tagging that Black Children's Book Week.
There you go. There you go, Mr. Dim. You the bomb. You the bomb.
That's a good thing.
I know.
I appreciate y'all.
We gotta go. Come on, Gloria.
Yes.
A breeze.
Good night, y'all.
Do it. Learning is a breeze. Go.
It's been real, y'all. Have a wonderful evening. We are Children's Island, where learning is a breeze. Please remember, when we get the network, don't be carrying on like this. You cannot carry on like this.